Good morning students, welcome you all in the class of History Civics. In yesterday's lecture, I discussed with you about the foundation of Mauryan Empire and some of its founding fathers like Chandragupta Maurya and Bindusar. Today, I am going to discuss with you about the greatest Mauryan Emperor Ashoka. Okay, he is also considered as the greatest emperor of India, even of the world also. So listen carefully. Let us start about Ashoka the Great. Actually students, Ashoka, he was born in 302 BC and his father was Bindusar, and Bindusar appointed him as a governor of Takshila and Ujjain during his lifetime. When Bindusar died, Ashoka succeeded to the throne, but his coronation ceremony, his crowning ceremony was held after 4 years. Because during these 4 years there was a war of succession among Ashoka's brothers. Finally, Ashoka became victorious. And Ashoka was the grandson of Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya, who is the founder of Mauryan Empire. And this Ashoka, he is better known as Ashoka the Great. And he is, just as I told you in the beginning, he is considered as the greatest of Indian monarch and perhaps of the world. One of the famous critic H.G. Wells, he has called him the greatest of kings. And as a young prince, Ashoka, he was quite brilliant commander and he was quite ambitious, also like his father and forefather. When he was the governor of Takshila and Ujjain, he crushed revolts in Ujjain and Takshila. And as a monarch, he was quite ambitious. He wanted to extend the boundaries of his kingdom in southern and western India. But the conquest of Kalinga proved to be the important event of his life. Although Ashoka's army succeeded in defeating Kalinga's forces of royal soldiers and civilians, but this war proved to be quite disastrous. It is said near about 1 lakh soldiers and civilians were killed in this furious warfare. Hundreds of thousands of people, they were badly affected by this war. When Ashoka personally witnessed this devastation, this destruction, he felt remorse. He started repenting. He cried, "What I have done." So although the annexation of Kalinga was completed, it became a part of Mauryan Empire, but Ashoka's life just totally changed. He embraced the teachings of Lord Buddha and he renounced the policy of war. He decided now in future he will not fight any war and he will not follow this policy of violence. Instead, he decided to follow the policy of peace and love. Now children, let us know about the extent of Ashoka's empire. So Ashoka's empire was quite vast and it extended from the Himalayas in the north to the river Pennar, means Karnataka in the south, from Brahmaputra river in the east to Hindu Kush in the northwest. It also included Kabul, Herat, Kandahar and some portions of Nepal and Kashmir also. So this was all about Ashoka and his empire. Now children, this Mauryan Empire is also known as the pan-Indian character. It possessed just all India character. So what is meant by it? Why is it so? Why Mauryan Empire is known as possessing the pan-Indian character? Because Mauryan Empire just included the whole of India. And moreover, it had risen just on the ashes of Greek invaders whom Chandragupta Maurya defeated. And these remained after Ashoka's times also, means whatever the provinces were conquered by Chandragupta, they remained even after Ashoka in modern empire, and Ashoka was able to establish peace in Takshila and Ujjain when he just crushed the revolt here, and the Mauryan kings commanded and ruled the whole of India. And Chandragupta Maurya, he is said to just have spent his last days in Karnataka at Shravanbelagola, okay, which proves that this is Mauryan Empire. This was the pan-Indian character, because it included simple questions and the simple answer. Why this Mauryan Empire is known as the pan-Indian character? Because it included the whole of India. Okay, this is. And Kalinga had been captured by Ashoka in his lifetime. So all these establishes that pan-Indian character of Mauryan Empire. All these points, yes, they prove that the Mauryan Empire possesses the pan-Indian character. Okay, now the most important topic from this chapter, sources of information about the Mauryan administration, means from where do we get the information about this Mauryan administration, Mauryan Empire. Okay, so listen carefully. Actually, books, inscriptions, seals, coins, monuments, they are the archaeological sources of information about the Mauryan Empire. But about the administration and the character of Mauryan Empire, we get the information of Kautilya's book Arthashastra as well as the book Indica, which was written by Megasthenes. Okay, and Kautilya's Arthashastra is a very rich source of information about Mauryan administration. It also tells us about the structure of administration at the central as well as at the provincial levels. Ashokan pillars, edicts and inscriptions, they are the other sources of information about the Mauryan administration, which is spread throughout India. So this is all for today. In the next video, I will tell you about the Mauryan administration. Till then, have a good day.